And time for a roll call.
Mr. Paul Culver,
Here.
Mr. John Bailey,
Here?
Miss Jessica Bludgett,
Here.
Mr. Alan Lutens.
Here.
Okay, next up, introduction of city staff.
Glenn Rickard, City of Daytona Beach, building official.
Kim Flaherty, project manager.
And I'm Ben Gross, I'm the city attorney.
And,
Scott Simpson, I'm the board attorney.
thank you. All righty, we need an approval of the minutes from May 16th.
I'll move to approve the minutes from May 16th.
Second.
Approval in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Being that we have no new cases, we have 4 for review. Case A, VP 2021.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Ben Gross, City Attorney's Office. In order to give the respondent as much time as possible to show up in Case A, we'd like to take the cases a little bit out of order, if that's okay, with the board and the board attorney. And in fact, we'd like to take Case C first, if that would be
Certainly.
Acceptable.
No problem with that.
okay.
Yeah. Case C, BP 2023-0002, 262 Lexington Drive, appeal of notice of condemnation and demolition order.
And then we'll need to swear witnesses in.
I think last time Mr. Simpson did.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Let me think here real quick. Okay. Please, do you solemnly swear to the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Sound about right?
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
And I'd like to call Ms. Flaherty to the stand.
Good morning, Kim Flaherty, City of Daytona Beach project manager.
In your role as project manager, are you responsible for receiving and reviewing applications for building permits?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with the prior demolition order regarding the property at 262 Lexington Drive?
Yes.
And the condition of this board's previous order requiring application for building permit to be made by a date certain?
Yes.
And has the building permit been applied for?
Yes, it's under review.
Okay. And in your view, is it a building permit application in good faith?
Yes, it's a new owner. The real estate transaction that was anticipated did occur. We have proof of the new ownership. The new owner immediately submitted the building permit application as he stated that he would.
Okay. I don't know if you want to speak for Mr. Urquhart or if we want to have Mr. Urquhart come up to the stand, but what is your preference at this point since the condition of the, Mr. Urquhart, please state your name and position.
Glenn Rickard, Chief Building Official, City of Daytona.
Okay, in light of the fact that the property's transferred and the new owner has submitted a building permit application in accordance with the prior board order, what would be your request for the board today?
We go ahead and move the case to being closed, then let them follow the natural process with the building permit.
So in order of dismissal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's the city's request on this case.
Okay, so we need a vote?
Need a motion.
A motion, I mean, thank you. We need a motion to dismiss the case?
I'll move to dismiss this case.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Which one do you want to do next, Ben?
Have we got the,
There we go.
have we got the appellants ready for case B?
Is that 3000 South Stanford or 3000 Stanford? They are online if that's the case.
Excuse me, we've been sitting here on mute the whole time, so I didn't hear anything for Lexington Drive at all.
The board voted to dismiss your case.
Okay, no questions, I guess, we're good to go?
Good to go, sir.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, case B is 3000 Stanford Avenue.
Yes, they're online as well.
Okay. I think we need to swear witnesses in case B.
Generally, if, I guess the online witness,
Okay, yeah, you've already been sworn.
yes.
And I don't know if the appellant has any witnesses to testify or not.
No, I do not.
Okay. All right, in this case, there was an order issued at the previous meeting requiring a building permit to be obtained, for demolition by June 20th, and thereafter demolition to be completed within 60 days. And if that 60-day time period wasn't met, then the order authorized the correction order issued by the building official to be implemented. At this point, I'd like to call Ms. Flaherty to the stand. Could you state your name and title for the record?
Kim Flaherty, Project Manager, City of Daytona Beach.
And in your role as project manager, do you receive and review building permits?
Yes.
Can you tell us whether a demolition permit has been applied for the property at 3000 Stanford?
An application was submitted Friday morning. We have confirmed with the contractor that they've engaged for the demolition.
Okay. And,
The permit has not yet been issued. It's under review.
okay. And in your view, is that permit a good faith permit, fully completed?
I think we would request a 60-day extension if it's not completed at that time to allow the staff to proceed with the demolition process.
Okay. Well, I don't think we have anything more to add. You understand what the staff's request is if you want to hear from the appellant.
We need a motion to extend 60 days.
Well, I just want to make sure that the other party is okay with that motion and give them a chance to speak.
I'm not sure I quite understand the timetable. Is it 60 day? It's 60 days from the issuance of the permit, correct?
It would be a status report within the 60 days to see if the permit has been obtained and work has been initiated.
Let me step in. The last order did not impose a consequence if the building permit for demolition was not obtained by a date certain. And what we'd essentially be doing is allowing an extension of time for the building permit to be obtained from June 20th, which was the date of the original order, to 60 days from today's date. That would be paragraph 2 of the prior order being amended. Paragraph 3, which gives the applicant 60 days after issuance of the permit to complete demolition, that wouldn't be revised as suggested by city staff.
Understood. I personally don't see any holdups. There's 2 small things that I'm still waiting on. I've talked with the demolition contractor about it. If you guys have a number for FPL, I think that's the main thing, is some sort of a letter from them stating that you can do demolition, kind of confirmation that the power's been cut. But as far as the TICO related thing and the notice of compliance, they told me at the county notice of compliance can get, the turnaround time is 24 hours, but that was on Friday. So I don't know if they were open on Monday. So I think those are the few outstanding items. So, just to let you know that it's pretty close.
So then would you be comfortable with staff's request to amend section 2 of the order on appeal to provide an additional 60 days to obtain the building permit?
Demolition.
Excuse me,
Yeah,
building permit for
but-
demolition.
Okay.
I mean, that's fine. I have no problem with it. I foresee it happening sooner, but that does help out if there's any complications on the part of scheduling with regard to the demolition company. That would seem to be one thing that, initially it didn't seem like that would be an issue, but anyway, so yeah, just getting on their schedule would probably be the only thing that would be unknown, beyond our control. But as far as like the completion of the permit, I think if I just am able to acquire the FPL information, I think that and the notice of compliance, which the county has, should be it. Unless there's something that the demolition company themselves has to do. But anyway, I'll stop. I have a tendency to ramble, so.
I need to apologize to the appellant's attorney and the board. I misunderstood staff's request. Staff doesn't want to give an additional 60 days to obtain the demolition permit. They want to give an additional 15 days to obtain the building permit and leave the rest of the order previously issued as is. And again, I apologize, but the reason for that is to make sure that the applicant remains diligent, and we've heard their attorney discuss how they're proceeding. And of course, if they can't get FPL to respond in the next 15 days, we could come back here for a status report.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't foresee it not taking that. I don't foresee it taking even that long, based on my understanding of what's still pending with regard to that permit. So yeah, I'm fine with that 15 days. But if anyone has any specific, the best way to get a hold of the FPL information, I'm getting it. Our demolition contractor isn't doing this. I'm the one that's doing it. So I hired him, and they're supposed to do this turnkey, but they haven't. And they weren't planning to even file the demolition permit last week, which is why I had to come to Daytona to do it myself. And I didn't know how to do it. And I had to talk to a lot of people to make sure I dotted my I's and crossed my T's correctly. You know, the TICO thing, John Cecil helped me out months ago with the contact person to get that taken care of, whom I contacted again. So that was checked off. But the FPL thing, you call them, it's automated. I've called several numbers. I can't get through the automation, and I don't even know if they have employees in a certain customer service. So it might require going to a physical location. So whatever process that the city has dealt with in the past, they could push that my way. I can get it done. With the FPL portion.
Glenn Urquhart, City of Daytona Beach, building official. We'll make sure the request gets into FPL through they do everything by email, and once they get the email, they'll, we've never had any problem with them doing the disconnects, so we'll make sure that happens.
Thank you.
So to put it succinctly and correctly, our request is to issue an amended order on appeal, amending Section 2 of the previous order to provide the applicant until July 5th to obtain the demolition permit.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make the motion that we amend the order for issuance of permit within 15 days and demolition within 60 days of that permit.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
I also remember on this case, because in the order it says that this order doesn't cover the underground oil tank. And I think you were going to provide some type of an update on the underground oil tank issue at this meeting?
Yeah, AquaClean is the company. They have an office in Lakeland, but the scheduler is in North Carolina. I mean, I provided them an invoice from Lynch Oil on what was put into the tank the last time it was filled, and now they're telling me they need some sort of chemical analysis clearance of what the dye was composed of before they can extract it. And I asked them, I said, hey, what can I do to help get it? They said, call Lynch. I did. I left them a message at the end of last week. I emailed her yesterday up in Linda Martin up in Carolina and asked her, so where are we at with this thing? You know, let's get the guy on property and take out so I could be coordinated 100% with the demolition. I haven't heard back yet, but I'm going to follow up with her today. I guess it's EPA related stuff that they need all this stuff. So anyway, it's beyond my, pay grade. Anyway, so I'm trying to help facilitate that and get them moving. So That's where it's at. Kim had found another company. Problem is, we've already signed a contract with AquaClean. So, I mean, I don't see a problem with them getting that done timely, to not interfere with the demolition. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's on the checklist for the permit, though. I don't think it is, unless
For the
it falls.
demolition permit, no, it was just, the order excluded the oil tank from the demolition. It's not covered by that. But I remember us talking about having an update. Is staff comfortable? Do y'all want any information about this oil tank removal? I mean, we've addressed removing everything else but the oil tank. Is there something that this board can help you with getting the oil tank addressed?
We would be comfortable just with documentation of the contract, and then we could go ahead and put that as an attachment to the permit, because it's a separate entity from the actual demolition order of the house. So as long as we got a copy of that, we would go ahead and put that in with the attachments. We'd be satisfied with that.
Would you want this case to come back to this board on the oil tank and sometime in the future to get an update, or how do you? Right now, our order just basically says demolish the structure, and once they, get the permit and they demolish the structure, they're in compliance with this order, but we still have this outstanding issue. I didn't know how y'all wanted to handle that.
Yeah, that would become an independent
Separate issue?
project that they would do that wouldn't be identified by our demolition within the International Property Maintenance Code. So it would be the homeowner's responsibility to go ahead and get that moved. And
So just say hypothetically, the oil tank issue does not get resolved. Would staff then file a whole new case regarding the oil tank and bring it back to this body? Or do you want this body to retain jurisdiction over the entire property, including the oil tank issue?
at that point, I believe I would bring it into the knowledge of code enforcement and let them know that is over there, and hopefully we can have that removed. We can stay in communication with him. If it's not removed by a certain time, then a code enforcement case would be brought forth by having,
Okay, so it would not come back to this body?
No, sir.
So once the demolition permit is issued and the structure is demolished per the order, if that happens, this case can be closed?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just for your edification, Kevin Yates at Code Enforcement is well aware of the oil tank issue, and has been for many months. In fact, I sent him another update yesterday, so they know about it.
Okay.
I'll forward, I thought I did, maybe I didn't. I'll forward the AquaClean contract to Kim at the building department, and if I haven't already done so, and keep everyone posted, because I don't want them to demolish and have something outstanding, and then we get charged more money to come back. I kind of want it all done once and be done with it. Put the top sod or whatever they do, have it, and at that point, I think we're probably going to try to fence off part of the property. And John Cecil put us in contact with the people in the other department that deal with whether or not where you put a fence or whatever, just to keep people off of it. Just for liability reasons until there is a rebuild. But there is no plan for a rebuild at the moment. So that's why it's just a strict demolition permit that's been filed, not a plan for redevelopment along with it. So that's about all I can think of with regard to the status with that.
We're ready to move on with the board's approval. You've already issued the order the city requested, so we don't have anything to add.
So we're just going to continue the case for another.
Well, I would just, I think it's the existing order addresses a time frame that needs to be addressed. If he complies with that time frame, then I assume it'll be reported back and it'll be closed or something like that. But if he doesn't comply with this order, staff will bring it back.
Right. I mean, my take is that you've amended that order to extend the time for obtaining the demolition permit.
Yep.
Okay, next case.
I noticed that there's somebody in the audience, and I don't know if they're here on case A or D.
case D.
Okay. We'll go ahead and proceed with case D then, if that's okay with the board. Just to catch everybody up, there was an order of continuance issued at the last board meeting, giving the applicant the opportunity to provide to the board a structural engineer's report by a Florida licensed engineer, a scope of work prepared by a Florida licensed general contractor, including the various elements that were found in need of repair, and a statement of costs prepared by a licensed general contractor to complete the work. At this point, I'd like to call Ms. Flaherty to the stand. Could you state your name and job for
Flaherty,
the...
City of Daytona Beach Project Manager.
Ms. Flaherty, have you received any of the information directly from the applicant that I listed out as being a part of the board order?
No communication whatsoever since the last hearing.
Okay. So at this point, I think we're ready to hear from the applicant and see if they have that information and documentation that was requested.
You lead a swear in.
Ma'am, could you please swear the witness in?
Yeah, we did it at the beginning.
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Sean Williams. For us, getting a contractor to come out, that's not reality. In the house, I have personals in the house, so every contractor I called out said I had to clean out the house for them to come do a scope. So I called for a dumpster to come out so I can clear out the house. In order for me to get the scope, the dumpster wasn't delivered to 614, and I started cleaning out the house, so I haven't been able to get someone to come out to do the scope. But I am cleaning out the house to have it done. So if I can get a continuance, I can have it done.
I'd like to ask...
And I can show you pictures I did clean up from the last time, a lot. So I have been working like ever since last time.
Glenn Urquhart, City of Daytona Beach building official. So it would, 30 days, would that give you enough time?
Hopefully. I mean, I'm gonna do my best. Like
Yes.
I've been cleaning up.
Mhm.
That's where y'all complaint was, but that was where the fire was at. The pictures that y'all showed last time,
Mhm.
that was where the fire was at, so. That was the complaint, cleaned up. Cleaned up. Everything's clean, clear. Clean. That
Would-
was the complaint.
Would you be open to an inspection, meeting you on site with staff so we could see the interior as far as the damage that was brought about?
Yeah, once I clean it out.
Sure.
'Cause if you see it now, it's gonna be a big problem. You
Yeah.
know, let me clean it out first, then.
So I propose extension for 30 days, and
Anybody else wanna see?
a week before the 30 days is up to have staff meet her on site so we could see the extent of the damage on the inside with all the stuff that was inside that was damaged by the water that's removed.
And that back part, this part here, actually can come down. That's the part, that's y'all complaint right there, that. And that was the added on porch that I put boards up because we sat in there a lot and the mosquitoes was in the back so bad.
Yes, ma'am.
But if that come down, that eliminate the problem right there. I can
Yeah.
take that down.
Well,
But I don't know if I have to get permission to take it down.
No, leave that as it is right now. I think concentrate on cleaning the inside out. We'll give you the extension, the 30-day extension to be back here at the next meeting. But 1 week before, you contact Kim Flaherty,
Okay.
and then set up an appointment with myself and Mr. Cecil to meet you on site.
Okay.
Then we can see inside, and then we can go from there.
I'd like to ask Mr. Urquhart a couple of questions. And Mr. Urquhart, I apologize, I wasn't at the last board meeting, but presumably the conditions listed in the order for continuance were conditions requested by staff. So the first condition listed was that a structural engineer's report would need to be prepared by a Florida licensed engineer. Are you still looking for that report to be provided after this extended period, within this extended 30-day period?
Yes, sir. It's, from the sound of what she's saying, that not able to get the contractors or the structural engineer to make the assessment with her belongings and everything still in there. We due diligence by the city to accommodate, give it her the 30 days, then at that point, going back to what we had requested.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so you would still want all of the 3 items that were listed in the original order, the structural engineer's statement, the contractor's statement, and a statement of cost to be submitted after the extended 30-day extension?
Yes, sir.
Within the 30-day extension, excuse
Yes,
me.
sir.
Okay, right.
I'm confused. That's all in one, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You would have an extension if the board
No.
grants staff's request of 30 days to provide the 3 things that were,
No, you said 3 things, but it's one thing, right? Because the contractor gonna come out and do everything. No?
the order requires a structural engineer's report prepared by a Florida licensed engineer. In addition, it requires from a Florida licensed general contractor a scope of work and a statement of cost. So 1 report from an engineer, 2 documents from the contractor, scope of work and statement of cost.
The engineer is not the contractor.
No, ma'am. So
Well,
it's-
who's the engineer?
your design professional, your structural engineer is going to give you the report on the structure itself. Items number 2 and number 3, as far as the scope of work, as well as you have the scope of work to be prepared by the Florida licensed general contractor, and number 3, a statement cost also prepared by the general contractor. So he's going to give you the cost of what it's going to take to do the scope of work. But item number 1 is the structural engineer stating what condition your home is in. That's separate from the contractor.
Mr. Urquhart, can you explain why that structural engineer's report is needed?
Well, originally, it could kind of be cleaned up at the same time, because when we make the assessment, we're making the assessment of what we're seeing visually. So if it's going to give us a clearer view of what is actually in place, we could waive that until after our visit, because we're not able to get on the premise, and we're making our assessment from outside, and, because I've never been inside the house.
But y'all had people to come down that's been inside the house. 2 people done came down.
That's what, code compliance? Who was inside the house?
The permit and license, where they give you the, home exemption? Property appraiser.
Yeah, that's
and-
not associated with us.
Oh, and, I don't know who, I can't think of the other person. I don't know what
So
area they from, but they came.
So to
like, 2
move
people.
forward with you, to help you move forward, on item number 1, Ben, we could move that till after the assessment of our visit. So, but we do need items number 2 and items number 3 taken care of
Okay,
before we get to our next meeting here.
Right.
So with the structure, to be truthful, a structural engineer report, you're not going to get that within several weeks, by the time you get them out to do it and everything. So we can make our assessment on site, and by that time, you said you'd have your contractor in place as well. They could actually meet us on site with you,
okay,
and we could go over there and tackle it all at once,
okay,
So,
if that works for you,
yeah.
all right.
and
so-
also if the board's in agreement.
So it sounds like what the building official and what the city staff are asking is for the order of continuance to be amended to provide an additional 30 days to comply and, subject to additional action by the board at the next meeting, remove item 1 from the list of requirements.
Okay, so we need a motion for a 30-day continuance.
I move to move this to the next meeting and exclude the requirement of the structural engineer's report.
I would also include in that that she contacts staff 1 week before to set up an inspection.
And also requirement of contacting staff to set up the meeting a week prior to the next meeting.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Can I make one comment on this case? In some of the other cases, we made the finding to support the determination that was, the first thing that was done is there was a finding of upholding the staff's determination of the condition of the property. I didn't see that. I don't think we did that in this report. So if we're going to go, I'm just bringing this up for this case, if we're going to have to address it, we're going to have to go through the whole presentation of the condition of the house and make that initial determination, because I don't think that determination was made.
Agreed, and while I haven't had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Urquhart about it, I suspect that having the property cleared out is going to help them
Right.
engage in the assessment that would be needed in front of this board in any event.
Yes, that would be correct.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what they told me when it came out.
And one other question, I remember the discussion that we were having last time is, and I think maybe the cost of construction had something to do with this, is that because of the nonconformity that existed there, that if the cost exceeded a certain percentage of the assessed value, then she wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah, once you pass the 50% threshold, then you get to the point where everything on
Change.
site will have to be brought up to
Okay.
modern day code.
Exactly. Now, she made the comment about removing the structure. I guess she added a structure without a permit? Is that part of the issue here?
No.
Yeah, that was, the point she was referring to was she's got like a shed-type structure that's attached to the back of the house.
Right.
with plywood. So that would be, if there was never a permit pulled for that, that would have to be inclusive in, with the contractor's work.
Okay. Removing that doesn't solve all her problems, though?
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No,
You're welcome.
actually,
Thank you for
it was
coming.
a shed. It was a screened-in porch, and the mosquitoes were so bad. I just put up wood to the screens, so the mosquitoes wouldn't come in.
Yes, and then the question was if by removing that, would that change the validity of the case?
No, because the roof still need to be done.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
why that was answered.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, last case, case A.
Case A relates to a demolition order that had been issued for 29 South Grandview Avenue. At the previous board meeting, the board issued an order on appeal providing the appellant until June 20th to provide proof of a demolition permit issued, and then requiring the appellant to complete the demolition structure 60 days after. Now, the order included a specific condition that applied if the appellant failed to complete the demolition within 60 days of that deadline, but that order does not address the consequence of the appellant's failure to obtain the demolition permit by June 20th. I'd like to call Ms. Flaherty to the stand. Excuse me.
Kim Flaherty, City of Daytona Beach Project Manager.
In your role as project manager, do you accept and review building permits?
Yes.
Have you received a building permit on this?
As of 8:30 this morning, no application has been submitted, nor have we had any contact from the property owner.
And what would staff request?
Staff would request that the order be amended to allow us to proceed, uphold the building official's determination, proceed with the demolition process.
Thank you.
Okay, so staff request is to uphold the original demolition, and the demolition would be performed by the city and a lien placed on the property.
Probably the appropriate thing to do is to authorize staff. I think we've upheld staff's determination at the first one. I believe. And I think the appropriate motion is to authorize staff to proceed with this demolition. How staff goes through that process, I don't know it's appropriate for this board to direct them to, but it's appropriate for this board to say, we authorize it. So we've satisfied the due process requirement. Now staff has to go through whatever their process is, notice, hiring a contractor, whatever that is, you go through that, they go through that process of spending. Okay, Ben,
Yes.
you can nod.
What's that?
You can just nod.
Thank
So
you.
the motion is to uphold the original demolition order and allow staff,
Authorize staff.
authorize staff to continue.
All right, I'll make the motion that we uphold this city's recommendation that this demolition occurs and within the time frame that they determine is appropriate.
Now, you're authorizing staff to proceed
Authorizing staff to proceed.
with demolition.
Amend that motion.
I second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Let's see, do we have any new business, Ben?
Not that I'm aware of.
No. In that case, we are adjourning at 9:36.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.